Okay, so I've kind of decided that this is a little bit of a bigger issue, and kind of want to do a few installments on the whole idea of the glamorization of eating disorders. And I actually wrote a paper in my English class. It was, I think, my second semester of college, and we watched the movie or the documentary Killing Us Softly. Is that a documentary? I don't know. It's maybe some of you've seen it. It's Jean Kilbourne, and she's talking about advertising and the way that it affects women. And I had to write a response paper to that. And my paper actually was the only one to get an A, and she made reference to it to the class, which was a little bit embarrassing, but I guess I kind of wanted to read it because it's actually one of the works that I'm more proud of, because it's so personal and it's such a personal issue for me, and so that's kind of what I wanted to read to you. And I am reading this, so I apologize. I don't have it memorized or anything. And I entitled it, Bring on the Normal Anorectics. In the video, Killing Us Softly, issues surrounding the negative portrayal of women in advertising are addressed. One idea was stressed throughout the video by Jean Kilbourne, that advertising does have an effect on people. One of the most memorable statements in the video is advertisement defines who we are and who we should be. My own personal beliefs and life experiences support this theory about the role advertising plays in society. When I was 12, I simply decided that I was much too fat, and I went on a diet. I lost weight and was happy with the results, but it soon spiraled out of control. I spent all my time counting calories, working out, and vomiting what little I did eat. I almost completely withdrew from my friends and activities I once enjoyed, and I spent my time clipping out pictures of the twiggy models in fashion magazines that I was willing to do anything to look like. Before I was 13, I was in an inpatient facility for adolescents with eating disorders. Upon arrival at the hospital, I was given a list of items I was not allowed to have with me during my stay. The list included everything from illegal drugs to razors to certain types of shampoo. The last item on the list was magazines. I reluctantly surrendered my precious copy of Teen Vogue. As I lay in my bed, mourning the loss of my glossy-paged inspiration, I contemplated why they would ban fashion magazines when many patients around me were thinner than any models I had ever seen. In my opinion, if they prohibited me from thumbing through the latest issue of Vogue, they should also ban looking at the anorectics around me. To me, there was no difference. It wasn't until I went to daily group sessions with these young ladies that I began to see that there was indeed a difference. As I got to know these girls, I found out they were very broken individuals. Most had lost everything, from scholarships to boyfriends to jobs, as a result of their disease. Most, if not all, had serious and in some cases permanent physical damage. The one thing that stood out to me was, although they were very thin, they didn't at all resemble the glamorous supermodels I had seen. I looked around the room. Unlike the waifs that sold shampoo, most of the patients had dull, thinning hair. Unlike the models that endorsed skin care, everyone's skin was dull and flaky. And none of the women in the cosmetic ads had the blue tinge to their lips and nails like the girl who sat on my right. These women had been trying to follow an unrealistic and unattainable standard of beauty set by our society because they felt like they as women should look. How they felt like they as women should look. It is apparent that Kilbourne wanted to see more normal women shown in advertising. That's all well and good, but if clothing designers and the marketing director for Crest toothpaste are not ready to embrace the idea of using models that were larger than the size 1, I would like to suggest an alternative. Why not use models that are normal anorectics? If your model is 6 feet tall and can still shop at Kids R Us, why not show what she really looks like without covering the under-eye circles and the purple lips? If young women have the opportunity to see what anorexia really looks like, eating disorders may have a little may look like a little less like a beauty tip and more like a disease. That was my paper, and it pretty much summed up how I feel about eating disorders and the way that they're marketed to America in the form of advertisements. I guess that's only one way that they're glamorized, but I thought that, it was really eye-opening for me even to write that paper, because while I was writing that paper, I was still suffering with an eating disorder, and it kind of forced me to really think about it, because I was, of course, on a deadline for writing that paper. So, I don't know if I don't think that I've really said anything that people with eating disorders haven't already figured out, but I think it's a good thing to remember and to think about. Well, probably talk to you guys soon.